Okay, welcome to Basics, Floorball Basics story time. Story number 2. If you have haven't seen story number 1, and if you are curious what is this story is about, you check out the first story. I have the link over here. But basically, it is NSG period at this moment in time. I have my tea, NSG stories that I would like to just share across the years that I've experienced through, and also probably in recent times. Um, the whole idea about it, purely entertainment purposes or learning points that perhaps you and I, or rather you, can pick it up. So if you find this useful, if you find this helpful, do like, share, and subscribe. In terms of story number 2, it happened recently. I didn't get a lot of time to train with the team, but after about 2 sessions or so, we went through, go ahead with our first game. Okay, so in this first game that we go through, I had 3 lines. Okay, so line 1, line 2, line 3, and as well as 2 substitutes. So with this in place, I already mentioned to them these are my lines in prior session. These are my substitutes also in prior sessions. Everyone turn up for the game, no issue on that, and then gameplay. Now, as the game was playing, as going by, I cannot remember the score exactly, but basically the score was close enough to have only 1 goal margin. So as the game progresses towards midway through the game, 1 goal margin, and then this player came to me and mentioned, "Coach, I'm a sub, but why am I not in the game yet?" I tell you, that is like one trigger point. This kind of trigger is not a nice trigger, but basically it's a trigger that will infuse a bit of flame inside me. But never mind, no problem. I was focusing on the game. I said, "No, you sit down. Not yet. Time's not yet. You sit down." So basically that's about it. I try to brush it aside. Go and sit where you belong to. But as the game progresses, there were some stoppages here and there. I took the opportunity to go and inform my teacher that this particular player is asking me for a second time. She's like pressing for game time. Like, why is she not playing? Now, do note there's 2 substitutes. One substitute, she's all fine by the bench, just supporting the team. Just doing her part at the bench, just waiting for a turn. While this other girl is like pressing on. Like, why am I not playing in the game? So in any case, come in the transition between second period and third period, my flame has fully infused. But anyway, in the 3-minute period, instead of addressing what should be done for the team in the last period, because the game was still pretty close, I spent literally about 2/3 of the break just to address this girl, like why she's not in the team. Sorry, why is she not in the line? Why is she not playing? How she should be acting? How she should be behaving? And to clear it up, the attention is now totally focused on her, and I have not addressed anything to the lines that's supposed to be playing next. So anyway, after I asked her this question, "Do you understand me?" The first reaction was she rolled her eyes. I can literally see the whiteness in front of me. That was it. Anyway, game moved on. Thankfully, we won the game. I think we won the game by 2 goals or 3 goals. Then after which, job's done. So in any case, we approached to the second training session, or rather the next session that I saw them was actually the next day. The next day, sorry, the next week. So what happens is, in between the training and the next game, parent apparently wrote to the school and requested that can she actually withdraw for the next game. Now, at this point of time, listening to the story, I'm not so sure what would be your reaction, but do comment down in the comment section below if you're willing to. What would be your reaction if you were to hear that say the parent and the child and the player actually requested to withdraw for the next game? What would have been your reaction? Then of course I'll share what my teacher did. So what happens, my teacher received the email, the reaction, and she handled the case all in all. But in totality, what happens is my teacher told the parent that if a withdrawal is to be done, is to have full withdrawal from the team and not just for one game, whereby you come and withdraw for one game, and then the next game you decide to come and then you come. So my teacher made a huge stand, a good stand, and which I totally agreed and support with. So she told the parent to make a decision. Withdraw means full withdrawal, and lo and behold, soon after they decided to do a full withdrawal, and that was more or less the story end. Then of course the next day, the next game as we approached, she wasn't around. We approached the game as per normal. We managed to play the game. It was a tough game. It was quite an exciting game because it was a tight game. But in the end, thankfully, we managed to win the game. Yeah, without her presence. So, learning points for me, or reflecting points, I did share it with my teacher that could I have, could I have actually done more preparation in terms of mentally prepare this player in terms of her roles and responsibility, her playing time, whether does she get to even have playing time. Because if I reflect that, perhaps I probably fall short in that aspect. However, in my also the years of coaching, one coach, the ratio of one coach, sometimes it can go one coach to 100 players. And it happens in primary school area. It does not happen often these days to me, but it often happens to coaches out there. And if you are one of the coaches there that experience 80 students, 100 students, 120 students in one setting, I know the pain, you know the pain. It is almost impossible to address all players. It's almost impossible to address everyone, or it's almost impossible to save everyone. So I did share it to my teacher. If that's the only regret, that would be my regret in terms of addressing these players. However, on the other hand, it's really a hard task, a tough task to touch on every person's life, especially when the ratio is so big. So anyway, it sounds like a bit of a complaining session. It sounds a bit of a sharing session. But do let me know what is your take from this story. Does that happen to you in your own team? Anyone does complain or whine about they need to have game time? What's their reaction? What is the consequences after this? I'm sure there'll be stories and many similar stories out there. So in any case, this is story number 2. Happened recently. There'll be more stories that I would like to share in the future videos, especially if the reception is well. So do like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully in the story number 3, I can tell something that I've heard from others rather than my own story. And then from there, I can also derive my own conclusion, derive my own logic from there, and also can hear it from you as well. So with that, I shall continue my food and also prepare my session later. Peace out.